Hey guys, Jay here, welcome to EonsOfBattle.com. Today I'm going to show you how I created a terrain tree for your miniatures. Here are the paints I'll be using. So the first thing I did was I used a length of baling wire, or just stiff wire of any sort. This is what I'm going to be using to make the armature of the tree. I cut some lengths to 3 to 5 inches, I'd say, is a good appropriate height if you're using Games Workshop miniatures or 28mm miniatures. And for a base, you could use pretty much anything. You could use like a 40 or 60mm base, or just what I'm doing is just an abstractly cut piece of hardboard. And once I had about 5 lengths cut, I grabbed them on either end with 2 pairs of pliers, and I twisted them together. This is going to create the trunk of the tree. On one side, I took the small pieces that were hanging out and I squished them flat, and I also used some pliers to trim them so that they would fit nicely on the base. Not only is this going to help it stay put, but it is also going to help create the little bit of an outcropping where the trunk of the tree is, to make it look like it really is poking up out of the ground. I used some hot glue to help keep it in place. And then to create the actual body of the tree, I wrapped it in duct tape. You don't have to be particularly careful with this because you're going for lots and lots of wrinkles, and also you can put this onto the base. This will help give it a little bit more of a natural look, and you can also use this to help get a little bit of a thicker tree trunk as well. Then to create the leaves of the tree, I took a piece of foam. This is a piece of 3-inch. You could use any type of foam for this, probably not like a soft foam though, any type of rigid foam. And I carved it into pretty much a circular shape. And then I stuck it on top of the wires. Then to add the leaves, I began by coating my foam with some wood glue. Make sure that you do use a brush-on glue because any spray-on adhesive is going to contain acetone and melt the foam. And then I began sticking on the decorative dried moss, which is going to act as my leaves. Once those were in place, I began by flocking the bottom of my tree. I used some wood glue for this in preparation for adding some sand flocking. I started off by sprinkling in a few places some larger grit sand, and then I finished it off by applying some playground sand I had lying around, which is just a combination of different grains of sand. This helps create a very, very natural look, which was what I was going for. Then, unless the moss that you've purchased is already the color that you desire, you can always go ahead and paint this. You could use an aerosol can, or in my case, I'm using an airbrush. I painted it with Vallejo Sick Green. You don't have to get a perfectly even coat. In fact, it's better if you don't. It'll create a little bit more of a natural look. And then I finished it off by spraying it with a little bit of black paint. Now make sure that you don't go overboard with the black paint. This is just used to create a little bit of a shadowed and more natural look. Then to finish up, I painted the base. I just used a craft brown paint for this, watered it down 50-50 with some water and some paints. This will help to lock in the sand grains. And I used the same craft paint to paint the trunk of the tree. I used a craft paint because I just didn't want to use up a ton of my nice acrylics that I use on my miniatures. And if you're going to be making several of these pieces, you're going to end up using quite a bit of paint. And then to finish it off, I did a quick dry brushing with some Vallejo earth on the trunk and on the sand grains. Now obviously you could be done there, but I wanted to go ahead and apply a little bit of some grass flocking. So I took my trusty PVA glue and I applied it in several spots, fairly randomly. And then I took a wet brush and I removed any excess glue and I spread it out just a little bit. I then used some tweezers to apply my green glass flocking. Now I found that using tweezers was much easier than using your fingers because it tends to be clingy and it tends to build up a lot of static, and so I find that the tweezers is just the easiest way to apply it. If you have any other ideas or techniques you'd like to see us do, please leave in the comments below. If you'd like to see more of our videos, you can visit us at our website at EonsOfBattle.com. I hope you found this video helpful. Thanks for watching.